Hello everybody, welcome back to another J Mars Hands video, and today we're doing something really fun. We are reviewing the Unior Pro Tool Kit, and I got it about probably 6 or 7 months ago, and I've been using it a lot, and I have a lot of thoughts, and I really like it. But the first part of it we're going to review is the toolbox itself. It's too big to fit on my desk, so we have here, and this is an extremely nice toolbox. It is like super thick plastic. I love the way these clasps work, and even if you look, it's got a it's a pressure release valve, so you can, like, I don't know, take it on a plane or something. Oh, the way it works is it's got these wings along with this bottom section, which everything just fell out of. So the idea is, if you had this on a workbench, you could hang this off of it. And also it's nice because if you see, this is kind of close to tipping backwards usually. But yeah, here's it. This is it. Like, I've added a lot of things to here, but most of this stuff actually came with the kit. So I've got like 2 complaints with the toolbox, but they're pretty minor. The first one is, you can see these wings kind of hang back. In all their pictures, they're like up like this. And I don't know, like, am I missing some kind of mechanism? Because there's nothing there. But, like, I feel like if they put some kind of tension strap there, they could have made it hang up like this. And the other one is that it's pretty tight to close. You gotta get kind of everything pretty deep in there, but that's also because it's kind of overfilled. It's not overfilled. As you can see, this side lines up really nice and is, like, closed. This side, again, it's a little bit overfilled, but it doesn't really line up. You gotta, like sometimes even when I clasp it, it doesn't line up. But again, that's honestly, like, super insignificant. And you can see it's also got a rubber gasket. I thought that was a rubber oh, here it is, it's over here. A rubber gasket that is super, like, supple and everything. I love this toolbox. Okay, now we're gonna start looking at the individual tools. So let's go back to the desk. Okay, so the first thing that I want to look at is the hex wrenches, the most important bike tool, easily, by far. So these, I love these things. It's got a 2-component handle, so this is, like, grippy and this is hard. It has 10, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, and 2.5, or 2.52. So it's complete set. You're not gonna find a bike fastener that's outside of these. They're, like, super duper nice. I have had some problems with this 6 stripping out a bit, and on that note, this was actually the first 6mm that came with it, and you can see it got the tool broke, and I was trying to take off pedals. I used to have these pedals I would seize all the time, and that's the reason that my current 6 actually is pretty damaged right now as well. This one works, this one doesn't work at all, but I don't think they could make it out of any nicer steel. These things are really nice. Pretty expensive though. Like, this replacement was $10 just for this thing, but, like, super nice. And it makes such a difference because they fit super well as well. Like, if you have crappy, like, I worked with crappy hex wrenches for a long time, and you just strip way more bolts, and it's crazy because it doesn't seem like it'd make that much of a difference. But if you have hex wrenches that are really hard and fit really well, it makes such a big difference. Like, there's bolts that I had a stripped bleed cap screw, and one hex wrench, my crappy hex wrenches, couldn't get it out, but I got this. I got this, and it went in there, and then it just turned. Like, it was, like, super stripped, and it just, and they say that on their website, and I didn't believe them, but it's true. That's all I have to say about the hex wrenches. Now the next thing is the spanner set. So it does come with a bunch of wrenches, and this surprised me because these, like, bikes don't often have these type of fasteners on them. BMX bikes do more, But really the type of bikes that this toolbox is meant to work on really doesn't have these types of fasteners that wrenches go on. But they actually have been pretty useful, because one notable omission from this kit is the pedal wrench. And if you look, there is a 15mm wrench, and these wrenches are all very, very thin, which makes sense because your bikes aren't super high torque when you compare it to something like cars. And if you're trying to use this as a pedal wrench, it's pretty short, but this is unintentional. I just discovered this the other day. You can use this as a really good leverage bar. Is this good for the tool? Probably not, but yeah, I mean, I used it. It doesn't seem to have dented it. These are all super nice chrome, and then there's like textured finished here. I love it so much. This is like the nicest freaking crescent wrench, bro. It wiggles more. You see, this is the crescent wrench I restored. It has a white rubber band on it for some reason. These are very comparable crescent wrenches. This one versus, there's a little bit more wiggle in this one than in this one, but I mean, that's not really going to affect you. And once again, this set has skips. It's like 19, 17, 15, 13, 11, 10, 9, 8, then there's a 10, 8, 7, 6, but this fills in all the skips. And once again, bikes aren't really super high torque on anything that kind of needs this, so like it's okay to use a crescent wrench. Like, it's not gonna hurt you. And let's talk about this, which is the line wrench that it comes with, and this is specifically for brake bleed cables. Super nice to have an actual line wrench rather than just using like one of these. I guess it'd probably be this one for 10 and then this one for 8. And so super nice to have this and not have to worry about it. Just strips the fasteners less, and it's like that confirming lock is huge. So I love these wrenches. They are double open end, no box end, which once again makes sense. Bikes aren't very high torque, and also really skinny. Like, these handles, you can't really, like, they're rounded nicely, but they're really thin. So if you're trying to like use this for like a car or something, it'd probably suck. But for bikes, like the perfect wrench set pretty much. And the next thing is pliers. This kit comes with 5 pairs of pliers, all for different things. Let's start with these side cutters. Like, it's super nice, super like loose. And it's interesting because this is the first case of this kit coming with like the VDE electrical handles. So these are really like, if I wanted to work on live cables, I guess I could, but it's not really useful to me. But I do like these big shelves you can choke up on, and it's a super comfortable handle. And especially if you get out to here, you can really get a whole lot of leverage. Doesn't feel like it's ever gonna break. I'm trying to demonstrate how smooth it is. Moving on to the pliers. These are super nice, man. I love these things, man. For cables, the duck bill is so useful because you can just like grab it and go. And this like covers another thing that I looked at the kit and I thought, wow, there's no third hand in there. If you don't know what the third hand is it's like super useful for cable pulling. But these are so good for cables. Like I don't know, you don't even need it anymore. Very nice cutters. If you look, there is like a little bit of light that comes through those cutters. You can't really see, but it just means that this front comes together a little bit before this comes together. But like this pipe turning section is crazy. I was using it, I can't remember what I was using it for, but I was like shocked about how well it worked. Moving on, super nice cable cutters. Once again, oh, these are not VDE. Interesting, but it's the same electrician style grip, I guess. Super nice. As you can see, one thing I love about these is they're locked closed right now. You just articulate it once and it comes open. It's tons of leverage, just goes pop. One thing I've noticed compared to the Park Tool one, and I haven't done a direct comparison, but I do think that this frays the cable a little bit more, especially if you're close to the end of the cable when you cut it. I don't know, it's just got a stronger pop, which I think pops it apart. but super nice, and it's got a cable crimper, so it's got one up on the park tool as well. Moving on, we have these. These are called Masterlink pliers. These are for getting bike links apart. And when I first looked at these, you notice there's no. Usually it's like kind of like a bulbous thing here, so that you can go in and out. But there is enough swoop back here where you can also pop it closed if you want. If you work on bikes, you know what I'm talking about. But it's got these super nice like double dipped handles where there's a softer rubber and then there's like something hard and durable over, so it doesn't wear down and it's easier to clean, and you get that little bit of cushion. Moving on, and these are C-clip pliers, and these are nice, but they do make another version of these which are for outer C-clips. These are for the inner ones, so if you want to go in and like squeeze it and you can get it out, but they do make outer ones, and I was needing them, and these did work in that situation. It would have been really nice to have the other version in this kit as well, which I feel like they could have put it in there. But again, super smooth, nice handle, and it just does one thing and it's good at it. The next thing I want to talk about is the Torx. I forgot to include these in the hex wrench section, but they're Torx. Everything I said about the hex wrench goes for these. Super nice, 2 components, fits better than anything I've ever used. I don't strip screws, I get out strip screws, and they include a T25 and a T10, so that's nice. The next thing in this kit is the screwdrivers. Now, you will notice these are all VDE, 1000 volt rated with the sheath and everything, but I really like these screwdrivers. You can see, so I actually haven't driven a whole lot of screws with these, but they do make pretty good pry bars, and there's a little bit of a problem with that because you can see it marks up this electrician shield here, which I feel like isn't very necessary. Could have just omitted it, omit the VDE thing. I'm never gonna work on live electronics. I really like these handles. They're pretty smooth, but they're also this bi component, and so you get that grip right where you need it. And there is 2 little flat spots where if you really needed to, you could put the crescent wrench on here and turn it. Moving on to the smaller one, you can see that it is bent pretty bad. I did that. I was prying out bearings with it and being stupid because I didn't take the rotor off, and so the bearing was stuck in there, and I bit my screwdriver, which sucks a little bit, but I mean it still works. And I don't really drive a whole lot of slotted screws, so I mean it doesn't really matter. Same, little smaller. Then we have, of course, the classic Phillips. I don't think I've used this a single time, but from what I can tell, super nice. You look at the end there, nice black oxide, pristine, because I've never ever used it. But I love the screwdriver. I love these screwdrivers so much. Super high quality, just like everything else in this kit. Now the next thing is one more thing I forgot to put into the hex wrench section, and it is these tiny little hex wrenches. It goes 5, 4, 3, 2, 2.5, 1. So you get a little bit smaller. There's not a 1mm fastener on any bike that I've ever seen, but these are super useful for tight paces, especially for bottle cages. You've noticed that these don't have ball ends on them, which I actually like. You can go way faster if you don't have to switch every time you want to actually put torque on something. You can just put torque like this, but this is where the ball ends of the kit are. So if you need to get in, installing bottle cages, you're trying to get like behind a brake rotor and torque it down, but like not strip the bolt, and it's super useful to have these. And this is how you can tell the mechanics put this together, because this is something that a big company would never ever think of, but only mechanics would think of, and I love it. Yeah, so moving on. Spoke wrench. It's a spoke wrench. Pretty nice spoke wrench. 3 point, wait, what does that say? It says 3.3. I don't know if that's a spoke size or whatever. It fits my spokes. You can see I've used it a little bit. I like these big wings, makes it easy to turn. It's a spoke wrench. We have the chain whip. Now you're thinking, this doesn't look like a chain whip. This is a chain whip. It locks into your cassette. I've used it. I like it way better than a typical chain whip. It's got this super nice handle on it. I love these handles. Having good handles on your tools gives you more torque. You can get way more torque on a nice handle than you can on a crappy handle, which is important because you need to get a lot of torque on a chain whip. Basically, how this works is it engages with the like third or fourth gear up on your cassette, and so it's super nice because it locks it in, and then your cassette tool goes right through the middle. Which, speaking of, it comes with 2 cassette tools. So yeah, so you lock this on, and then this goes right in the middle, and you put either you can use the 1/2-inch handle on that, which comes with. Which the only reason that this is in here is for these. It's got a ball on a spring, and it's actually very tight. There you go. You got your cassette tool. Super nice handle. It goes like this, and then you take off your cassette. Super convenient and pretty tight. But that's because it's probably wearing a little bit. These actually have a little bit of rust on them, which I did not notice. A little moisture must have gone there. But one gripe with this is they included 2, and these are the same, right? They each have like 12 splines or whatever, the typical cassette standard. But I wish they'd included one of these without a center post, because as far as I can tell, these are not removable. And so like 1-up pedals also use the standard, but it can't have a center post. And so we weren't able to get apart 1-up pedals because I've got 2 of them with center posts, and it would have been nice to have a big post and a small post, or just one of these and the post is removable or something like that. But it's unfortunate that this is how it was, but still nice in case, like, I don't know, maybe this is for like quick release axles or something. I don't really know. But that's the cassette, and that's the cassette section of this kit. Next up, we have stuff for brakes. This is a brake caliper separator. I like this one way more than the Park Tool one. It's a little thinner and it's a little bit easier to get in there. 2 steps, and you just pry your brake pads apart if you accidentally compress them. This is a rotor truing tool. Very simple tool. Once again, it's got that double dip grip just like this does. Put your rotor in there. You got a deep slot and a small slot. I haven't had to use it, but very high quality. Moving on. This is a bottom bracket tool. It's very nice. It's got this handle. One interesting thing though, it comes off. I don't know. You can see where some adhesive was, but it failed somehow. I mean, I could just put epoxy in this and put it back on, or just leave it friction fit like I have right now. And if you're torquing on that, it won't come off. I know it because I've torqued on it. And this comes with little magnetic, I don't know what it's called, but there's a little thing on Dub cranks and Shimano cranks, I think, that this little tool you can use it for. And if you look on the other side, it's got a nice little magnet, and it's got a place for your crescent wrench, so you can get it a little, if it's like stuck or something, you can get it off. One thing though, if you look at the other versions of this tool, they're a little bit like taller, like this part's a little bit taller, and I think that's because some pedals, it's like tight in against something, and sometimes you run into your crank while you're trying to get the little ring off. So that's a little bit annoying, but it always works. It's just I'm like running up against my crank. But it's super nice that it's magnetic, really well thought out. This is something that's usually just attached to the tool, and you gotta like use the whole tool at the same time. And but it's nice that it's magnetic. A little bit of bend there to clear your frame. Yeah, nice bottom bracket tool. Next up, very random addition. It's a metal file. Another thing that I've never in my life before used. Do I have something? Got this can lid. Can you tell I've never used? Can you tell I've never used a file? Yeah, I filed a little bit. Went through the metal right there. Yeah. I don't know, it's a metal file. I don't really know what is in here. Once again, nice handle, 2-component, little hole in it. Yeah, if you want to file something, and here you go. Next up, tiny chain tool. Usually these are a little longer. I don't really know why this is shorter or if it affects anything, but you can see it's got your measurements, and so you can see if it's 0.2, 0.5, 0.75, or 1% stretched. And when you can replace your chain just by, I've used this a couple times and it works pretty well. Another thing, the hammer. Oh, big hammer. It's full of sand. It's so like, it's supposed to like kill it when it lands. As you can see, I've marked it up a little bit. These rubber caps, I actually don't know if they're replaceable. They probably are. You could probably get that off. But the thing about this hammer is it's pretty big. you don't usually have to hit stuff as hard as this hammer would let you hit it. But you could nail stuff with this, and I would have preferred a little bit smaller of a hammer, but big hammer also fun. So yeah, that's the hammer. This kit also comes with some measurement tools. First, we're going to talk about this measuring tape. Super nice. As you can see, it's actually a pretty high quality measuring tape. It doesn't look like it. As you can see, the sides aren't super lined up, but it's got bi-material, and it's like, I don't know, it's got this weird lanyard thing, screws. It's just a measuring tape. One thing I don't understand is that if this is a bike kit, why not give a 6-foot tape measure? Because bikes are really 6 feet long, and so why would you need to measure anything longer than 6 feet? But I mean, other than that, it's just a tape measure. Lock it out, get in. There is a button to slow down how fast it goes in, but I find you got to put a lot of pressure on that, so I usually just use this. Yeah, tape measure. Next up, one of my favorite tools is, comes in a box, the vernier caliper. Ooh, so you can measure pretty precisely. No batteries, nothing to mess around with. So we take this out again. This doesn't have measurements on it. If you need to know the size of that, so it's looking like 15.40 about. So that's a vernier caliper, and that's in millimeters, of course. Yeah, you can measure depth out the back here. Super high quality, nice. It came with a calibration thing out of the box. I don't know if I threw it away or not. And it comes in this little box, so it's not just rattling around in your thing, getting messed up. I did have to oil it. I put a little chain grease in it, so it actually slid because it was really tight. Also, there's a little knob to tighten it so it doesn't move. Yeah, measurement tools. Finally, two of my favorite tools in this whole thing. First up, very nice pick. You can see I have bent it a little bit to the side, but it still works fine. Super sharp, useful for getting stuff out of screw holes, or if you got the other day I had a rock stuck in my bike cleat retaining screw, and I had to pry it out, and this worked perfect for that. If you don't have a pick in your bike kit, get one. It's really useful. Next up, forceps. Very useful for routing brake cables if you got to get inside a frame, and not brake cables, routing shifting cables if you got to get inside a frame to grab that cable so you can get the housing through. Very nice set of forceps as well. Stainless steel, and I feel like a doctor every time I use them, so that's a perk as well. Okay, and that's it. That's what comes in the Unior toolkit, Unior Pro Bike toolkit. If you want part numbers for these things, they're all listed on the Unior website. I'll have a link down there somewhere to the Unior website where it's listed. Unior tools is super, they're European version of Park Tool, right? And I love their tools. I love the toolkit. I've used it so much. Very minimal amount of flaws, and they're just great. So the last thing left to say is thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, like it. If you subscribed it, subscribe it. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.